Jay here, Stretford Paddock. We're live doing a little bit of breaking news. You've probably seen it from the thumbnail. You've probably seen it on social media. Sky Sports reporting that Manchester United have held talks with Kieran McKenna, former United coach, and current Ipswich manager. Kieran McKenna has held talks with Manchester United. I'm going to go through the story. Before I do all that, make sure you're getting involved in the chat and the comments and let us know what you think about this, whether you're up for this, whether you think this is a good idea, what you think about the idea of Manchester United talking to Kieran McKenna. It's a bit of a funny one because we were talking about this on Off the Bab earlier today. Myself, Adam McCullough, Joe Smith. We're talking about potential successors to Erik Ten Hag. If Erik Ten Hag goes, by the way, none of us were advocating that he should go. I'm just going to get me Pepsi Max cheddar. But we were saying if he does, what do you think about different managers? And Kieran McKenna's name came up. And now it looks like Manchester United have held talks with him. It's a bit surprising, a bit deflating and disappointing that these announcements and not announcements, these stories are coming out 2 days before the FA Cup final, the biggest game of the season, a Manchester derby, the FA Cup final, and it seems to be all this talk of the manager going. I'll go through the Sky story, right? Because I think it was Rob Dorset was reporting this earlier tonight, and he says Manchester United and Chelsea face a possible battle for their new head coach after Sky Sports News learned that United officials have met with representatives of Ipswich Town manager Kieran McKenna. It is now clear that both Man United and Chelsea have McKenna. Have McKenna on their shortlist of possible candidates, even though United have yet to decide whether to stick with Ten Hag next season. McKenna is one of three names being considered by Chelsea to replace Mauricio Pochettino, who left by mutual consent earlier this week, along with Brentford's Thomas Frank and Leicester City's Enzo Maresca. But the news that Manchester United have made initial approaches to McKenna too, in case they decide to change their manager after this weekend's FA Cup final, has added a complex new dimension to the situation. McKenna has been joined on United's four-man shortlist by Pochettino and former Bayern Munich boss Thomas Tuchel, who are both free agents, along with Frank. Should United lose to Manchester City Wembley, there will be no European football at Old Trafford next season after an 8th place finish in the Premier League. Sky Sports News has been told that McKenna's representatives met with the new Manchester United chief executive, Omar Barada, and technical director, Jason Wilcox, last week even, where the prospect of him taking over the first team was discussed. Manchester United declined to comment when contacted by Sky Sports News. The club's focus is on the FA Cup final. That's a joke, innit? With all these stories coming out. With no decisions before then, and the season will be reviewed after the City match. Meanwhile, Sky Sports News understands Ipswich want McKenna to stay and lead the club on their return to the Premier League. So obviously he got Ipswich promoted, back-to-back promotions. Kieran McKenna, they want him to stay as you'd expect them to. Why wouldn't they? He's just gotten promoted twice, took him from League One to the Premier League within 2 seasons, done a fantastic job there on a bit of a budget as well. They've not got the most amount of money, Ipswich, compared to some of the other teams in the Championship. But now it looks like Manchester United are interested in, and Manchester United have held talks. I don't know what to make of that. I'll be honest with you. I don't know what to make of the fact that Sky is saying Manchester United have declined to comment, because they might have declined to comment because it might be nonsense. It's just not. But would you come out and say that's not true? Or they might be declining to comment because they're just not commenting on any news when it comes to the manager ahead of the FA Cup final. I don't know. Let me know what you think. What have you made of all this? Because we could do without it, couldn't we? We could do without Sky Sports breaking a story and going, oh, United have been in touch with Kieran McKenna when Erik Ten Hag's still the manager. And obviously we've got this massive game on Saturday. Abhinav Verma says, this is what I mean. Erik Ten Hag has not been provided with the right environment. No manager has. Internally, the club betrayed the manager, always for clicks. Darren McNeef says, yay, let's get in a manager that's got 2 years experience. Sorry, Darren, I think I've just lost your... I'll try and find it again. I was halfway through reading. Oh, yeah, I found it. And has never managed in the top flight anywhere. And then he's done one of those, like, emojis. Yeah, that one. Come on, guys, says Daniel Howes. It's so obvious Erik Ten Hag is going to be sacked. If he was staying, Ineos would have nipped it in the bud months ago and publicly backed him. James Barry says, can see Ten Hag walking if you don't get public backing. I mean, it might be a very sort of quick walk, if that makes sense. if he says, right, if you don't back me, I'm walking after the final, and they might say, well, all right, off you go. The one thing that I find strange about all this is the idea you go to Kieran McKenna and you say, look, we don't necessarily want you unless the manager gets sacked. Loses the Manchester derby. If the manager loses the Manchester derby, then Stephen Harris says, do the emoji again, Jay. Then we want you. I mean, can you imagine Kieran McKenna sitting at home watching a Manchester derby going, I tell you what, if United lose this, I've got a job at Old Trafford. It seems a bit unrealistic to me. That's what I think anyway. I mean, let me know what you think. Get involved in the comments. Obviously, Sky Sports have gone big on it. You think it's a weird one because you think with Sky Sports, they are one of the biggest outlets out there. They've got a huge following. You think they'd have got some sources here that have told them this is true rather than just making it up. But are their sources right? Is this true? Has the club spoken to Kieran McKenna? The one thing I don't get is this idea of going to a manager, a potential manager, and going, and tell you what, we'll have you if we lose on Saturday. That to me seems a bit stupid and a bit unrealistic. How's that work? So you're going to tell me now that if Erik ten Hag, not only if Erik ten Hag wins, do you say to Kieran McKenna, we don't want you, but also if Erik ten Hag wins, you say to Erik ten Hag, yeah, we're all for you now. Don't worry about us chatting to Kieran McKenna last week. Forget that. We're going to back you properly, because he's going to feel like, well, obviously Jason Wilcox and Omar Barada don't really want me if they've been chatting to other managers. So it just makes the whole position untenable. And it's that line I can't get over. Should United lose to Manchester City at Wembley, there will be no European football. Sorry, that line obviously it's not the right line. I've read the wrong one. It says here, but the news that Manchester United have made initial approaches to McKenna too, in case they decide to change their manager after the weekend's FA Cup final, has added a complex new dimension to the situation. In case, like, what's that mean? I think that's really odd. What do you reckon? Get involved in the chat and let me know. Altered Shape is not having it. He said it's because it's rubbish, Jay. Sky just making this up, just going with it today. This is what they've said, like this is what they're doing. Vicky Whitterberg says Sky is just crapping on United because they can't handle their darling Kloppers left, wanting some toxicity. Ines Fushi says, I'd say it's a load of bull, especially coming up to the final. John Kane says, these United fans who want change always... sorry, let me have a look here. Sorry, the things are moving up very, very quickly. John Kane says, these United fans who want change always push for chance when the players don't do the best and blame the manager, not the players. Starlord says, Motty MVP. Ten Hag has been done dirty, says Jed91. Steve did a video, says Stephen Harris, today where he clearly and calmly put reasons forward for getting rid of half the squad. Yeah, it's Ten Hag's fault we aren't good. It's a crazy lack of logic. Get the players out, says Stephen Harris. I mean, I do think United have underperformed Erik ten Hag, but I do want to see him stay. I want to see him being given an opportunity. But stuff like this, I mean, I think it just makes his position untenable. I do. I just feel like if you've got the stories coming out and Sky is speaking to people, and the club is speaking to people and Sky reporting it. Now, if Sky have made this up, if they've just created this out of nothing, Kieran McKenna hasn't spoken to Omar Barada. He hasn't spoken to Jason Wilcox. This is all just nonsense. Then the club should come out and say that. And also, I think they should have a word with Sky. Doyley says, no tier 1 journalists are reporting it, so it's false, Jay. He's going down that route of it's false. So he's not having it. I mean, what do you reckon? Are you having that one? Do you reckon it's just a load of nonsense? That it's false, that it's just been made up by Sky. Sky aren't infallible, let's not forget. Sky can make mistakes, or not just make mistakes, but come out with stories that aren't true. So I'm not saying that, because Sky have said this has to be true. I'm just asking a question because they're going big on it. They're going big with this story. They're saying that these talks were held last week and that Omar Barada was involved with Jason Wilcox. We know Omar Barada is like the new CEO. He's going to be the new CEO. That's what they're saying here. I'll run through it again. This is what they're saying. Sky Sports News has been told that McKenna's representative met with the new Manchester United chief executive Omar Barada and technical director Jason Wilcox last week, where the prospect of him taking over the first team was discussed, and United have declined to comment. Does seem a bit of a funny one, doesn't it? Let me know what you think. Jesse Taylor says Sky Sports is like the sun. Joanne says Times reported it as well. So it's not just Sky, it's the Times. Again, no, can you rely on the Times? It says in the Times here, Manchester United have drawn up a 4-man shortlist of managerial candidates should they sack Ten Hag: Pochettino, Tuchel, McKenna, Thomas Frank, and that's from Charlotte Dunker and Matt Lawton. We've had Charlotte Dunker on the channel. I mean, I know Charlotte, she's a good journalist and she won't just make stuff up. So they've got that shortlist and McKenna's on it. It's not beyond the realms of possibility they've had a chat with him. Would they not? Would they just make this shortlist and then not? I mean, I'm not saying they spoke to other managers, but they could do. And obviously, they know Kieran McKenna. They know Kieran McKenna's representatives at Manchester United because he was at Manchester United for a long time, or for a little while anyway. So maybe there's a relationship there when some of the people can chat to some of the people that know Kieran McKenna's representatives. I don't know, man. It's annoying, right? It's coming out anyway ahead of the cup final, whether it's true or not. And also, if this is what the club are doing, it sort of flies in the face of this idea that things are going to be different under Ineos. You know, we was hearing, we're going to have all this difference under Ineos. It's going to be, the club's going to be run more smoother. There's not going to be all these leaks. You know, the days of sort of everyone finding out David Moyes had been sacked before the manager found out himself and stuff like that. It's a thing of the past. I don't know. Someone says here, sorry, Weetabix says, Jay, why haven't you got your Parker on? Forgive me. My Parker's it's hung up somewhere. It's still drying off from today, man. It was absolutely bucking it down today. Luke says the biggest insult I can pay Man United success at Ipswich Town is now a step before the Manchester United job. Lol, we will be relegated before we win the league. John Kane says it will be too much for him as an up-and-coming good manager. If he stays at Ipswich for next season, then it does okay. Maybe then, but throwing him into the deep will be like throwing him under the bus. I mean, if you're Kieran McKenna, do you want to take a big job now or do you want to wait? I mean, if Manchester United come calling, you'd take that job, wouldn't you? I don't know. Let me know what you think. Awake says, core blimey, love the close-up of the bald head, sorry, Jay. Ricky Swale says, absolute nonsense. Erik Ten Hag needs a chance. We all know 8th is a good enough for United. Give Erik Ten Hag one more season with a better, fitter squad. 5 new signings. Get out some that don't want to play for the badge. I like that. I want Erik Ten Hag to be given chances or to given another season. I do. But I don't know, man. I don't think he's going to get it. And it's not just because of this story tonight. I've been saying this for a little while now. It's just the impression to get that the Ineos just aren't fully feeling him. Excuse me. Aren't fully feeling him. See, Siren says this. It's bullshit, Jay. Brad hasn't started his job yet. I thought Brad has not started his job. So why is Sky saying that then? Why is they saying he's met with him? He's met with his representatives. It's all a bit fishy, this, isn't it? It really is. I don't get what the sort of the angle is here from Sky. They just sort of making stuff up then. Just going, know what? We're going to just go with this story even though it's not true. Be a big move now, wouldn't it, to go with that? Let me know what you think. Loads of people slagging off Sky. A lot of people aren't believing it. Luke says, I'd rather Keane over McKenna. At least we would know for sure the players won't be able to pull their usual stunts. Bobby Hanlon says, this is all waffle. No chance, Ten Hag. Doc Rock says, hello, Jay. Sorry, I keep losing it. I too want Ten Hag to get a full season without the cloud of club sale and injuries. We give up on manager too quick. Dan Kroon says, Jay, would you think it would get harder to get new signing in under McKenna? Like Elise, would he still come? I still think the lure of Manchester United would be enough if you had Kieran McKenna. I know he's not a big name in terms of managerial, but I think if you're going to come to Manchester United, you're going to come to Manchester United. Yes, some players might be a little bit reluctant to work for a 38-year-old, but I think by and large, if you're going to come to United, especially for no disrespect, but from a club like Crystal Palace, I could still see that happening. Let me know what you think. Do you think this is... And also, I think when it comes to signings and stuff like that, I know your point, because he's going to have to work as the manager, but obviously Kieran McKenna won't be doing the signings and the transfers and stuff. But I think Kieran McKenna is quite a well-respected young coach. So there might be a bit of excitement there for a young player coming into a new team, coming into a club, a big club like Manchester United, working for a young coach who's had a little bit of success. I don't want to see Erik ten Hag getting sacked, even if we lose on Saturday. I don't. I keep saying this. I want him to get another season. I think he should be given another season. Do I think he'll get it, though? I'm not so sure. Aidan Murray, I've just thought of a crazy situation. What if the McKenna camp are spouting this and forcing Chelsea to act quickly on an appointment? Stranger things have happened. Could happen. I mean, why not? They might do, but I don't know. That's a bit cynical, isn't it? Do you really? Is that what Kieran McKenna's about? And is he saying, like, look, get this story out that United have had talks to me? Because the thing with that is, if you say something like that, United could. They've declined to comment. United could comment and say this isn't true, and then you just look stupid. See, someone's saying, stop being eager to report these bullshit stories. Yeah, if I ignore this story, it'll go away. That's a good shout. It's being reported by Sky, bro. They've got millions of people watching it. It's silly to just ignore it and then it's going to go away. That's not remotely true. Nardi Solar says, one thing people are not considering is that Ineos didn't sign Erik. They inherited him. He was never their man. I think that's been mentioned a few times. Dot Rock says, please, football gods, no Southgate. Daniel, sorry, I keep losing these people because it's coming thick and fast. Forgive me. I'm trying to keep up. Where's Daniel gone? There was a one. Sorry, it might have been down. A lot of people aren't having this, by the way. A lot of people aren't having it that Kieran McKenna has held talks with Sky Sports. We will find out. We will find out if it's true because someone's going to comment. The club are going to comment. I mean, I know at the minute it's saying from Sky that the club have declined to comment, but we'll see if that remains the case because I wouldn't be surprised if someone did come out and either verify it and say, yeah, talks have happened, or just said no. Sky making this up. I don't know where they've got this from. We haven't. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. It's just more drama in it at Manchester United. The main thing is the FA Cup final in 2 days' time. Ricky Swales says, if Erik ten Hag is sacked or even if he walks, I still think his reputation gets him another job at a big club or a top club, like Bayern or a Milan in the future. Luke says, the ten Hag isn't their man. Argument holds no water if the replacement is McKenna because he was part of the previous regime. Ashley Nixon says Ipswich CEO hasn't said a word. Madman Tronic says this McKenna story is a fabrication and just a smoke screen for something else. Someone asking there. Monty Shea UTD ATL says, Jay, what's your gamer or your Xbox gamer? Computers and gamers and all that stuff, not for me. A lot of people not believing this. Some people saying it could something in it. Sky Sports going big on it. We'll have to wait and see what happens. We're going to be back in the morning. We're going to have the live news there. So get involved in the chat, in the comments in the morning. Make sure if you're not doing it already as well, you are hitting subscribe and you are liking the video. You might not like what's going on, but like the video. And also, when we come back in the morning, if there are any developments, if there are any sort of updates, if Manchester United have come out and said something, or if someone's reporting that the club has said something, then we can give you an update there. Also, if you've heard anything, let us know. If you're ICK, because one thing I'll tell you now, I am not ICK. All I do is report what is being reported. And what is being reported by Sky is that Kieran McKenna's representatives have held talks with Manchester United. Is it true or not? I have my reservations. Anyway, I'm a Jay Motty. This has been a little quick live to give you that breaking news and give you a bit of an update. Thanks for watching.